Once again, hello to all my friends, business associates, and saxophonists around the world. After releasing my recent video on copper versus brass, I received a lot of questions about the different models that we make. So today, I'd like to go over and introduce you to all the different models we have made over the years, as well as our most popular models of today. When I started in 1988, I decided to keep my models simple. By simple, I mean that there's always a Model 1 and a Model 2. A Model 1 is basically a darker sounding mouthpiece. A Model 2 is going to have a raised baffle inside the chamber and therefore is a bit brighter. If I were to rate sound production on a scale of 1 to 10, a Model 1, for example, would be about a 3.5 to 4.5 in sound production. On the other hand, a Model 2 would be about a 4.5, 5 to a 9, and therefore much brighter, a lot more projection, a lot more body, power, and much more focused sound. Here is a great example of Jerry Bergonzi playing on one of our Super Gonz Model 1s way back in 1991. Every once in a while, a player would ask me, what is the difference between the Super Gonz and the Kirk Whalum models? Basically, the Super Gonz has thicker rails than the KW models. I designed the Kirk Whalum models especially for Kirk. All the Kirk Whalum models have slightly thinner side rails, different chamber, barrel, backbore, and I modified the raised baffle slightly. Here are a few examples of players using the Kirk Whalum Model 2.
Sugal, Kirk Whalum II.
Way back when we first started, we experimented with Granadilla Wood. Granadilla Wood is really amazing. It kind of gives you that nice, hollow, woody sound, sort of like almost a Getz. The Granadilla Wood at that time was about 30 to 45 years old. So right now we're looking at 70 years of season-aged Granadilla Wood. After the rods or bar stock was cut into specific sizes, we then sealed it in special formulated material in order to keep out moisture and also retain some of the inherent qualities. Today, I am pleased to inform you that we have taken out of our airtight, water-resistant safe all the bar stock that we had available, and it looks something like this. Granadilla Wood ages like fine wine. It just gets better, more mellow over a period of time, and are currently in the process of starting to produce Granadilla Wood mouthpieces. I'm hoping that some folks out there will consider ordering them. Shortly after producing a couple of Super Gonz tenor mouthpieces, I decided I needed a few altos and a few sopranos. I took the design of the Super Gonz and just shrunk it down a little bit. The Super Classic 1 had no raised baffle, while the Super Classic 2 had a raised baffle.
Here is Evan Corgett playing a Super Classic 2 during a recent visit in January of 2016.
My name is Evan Corgett from Kansas City, and I'm up here at the Sugal factory, my second or third time visiting. I purchased a KW II tenor mouthpiece a couple years ago up here. Sounded great. The audience loved it. So I'm back here trying out several alto pieces, the Super Classic 2. So this is what one of them sounds like. So what I like about the the Super Classic II is it's got some nice power and punch to it. The copper is taking off some of the edge, so it's also got a nice warm fatness. What I find with the Super Classic II is the low, middle, and high registers are all nicely balanced, and it's really easy to transition between them. Particularly the Altissimo pops right out, spot on in tune. I don't have to work real hard to keep it in tune, and really I don't have to adjust much here at all to get it to pop out nice and clean. I have the KW II on tenor as well, and the first comments I got when I started playing that at gigs from other musicians were, wow, that mouthpiece sounds really good. Also nice to have some similarity between the tenor and the alto piece here, so swapping from horn to horn during a gig is a lot less stressful, and I pretty much know how it's going to blow, and they feel quite similar on the chops here. Even though Sugal mouthpieces cost a little more than other manufacturers, for me it's well worth the investment because I know I'm going to get exactly the piece I want. It's going to give me the performance and the sound that I want, and luckily Gary seems to get it right first time.
In 1988, I met Dave Lieman and asked him to come down to our factory. Together, we designed the Dave Lieman model, which was very similar to the JB model because it had a duck bill. However, I also, with Dave Lieman's assistance, designed the Super Lead. And the Super Lead was sort of like a small KW model. I always did a Dave Lieman Model 1 and a Super Lead Model 1.
Here's a short clip of Dave Lieman playing on the DL or Dave Lieman Model 1.
In 1993, I was fortunate enough to meet one of the greatest baritone players of all time, Nick Brignola. Nick came down to our studio many times. He was very encouraging and very inspirational in helping me design the Nick Brignola Model 1 and Nick Brignola Model 2. And you guessed it, the Model 2 had a raised baffle. One afternoon while Nick was visiting our factory, I asked him if it was okay to take out the camera and record him while he was testing out a few mouthpieces. The video, of course, is much longer in its originality, and I had to edit it down for this presentation. The fact of the matter is that this video is one of my prized possessions because in 2002 of February, Nick passed away. I will, of course, forever treasure his recordings. He did many CDs, and this short video clip that you're about to see. So please enjoy it and try to search out some of his CDs, if at all possible, and buy them.
What's good about it is it responds and the bottom pops right out. Easier.
In the spring of 2016, we plan to introduce into the market several new models and concepts. First of all our Super Gonz and KW models will have what we call a silver bullet chamber. The MB2S is a very powerful, breakerish kind of mouthpiece, similar to the sound that you recognize from the 1980s and 90s of Michael Brecker. Mark Rivera purchased 3 MB2S and is now currently using them with Billy Joel, and I hope in the very near future to have some video to demonstrate what the sound is exactly like.